Well, now, what's up, world? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, aka Foul Shot, reporting live from the Bamboozled Again News Network. And today I want to give a shout out to New Breed Global Truth, New Breed Universal Entertainment for the shout out. Greatly appreciated to be, I guess just acknowledged. Um, in my personal life, of course, you want, like, where I'm at with it, I want to help people. And people have told me I've helped them. When I was working in the addiction field and in my personal life. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it's not like I wake up on the forefront of my mind, let me go out here and help somebody. It should just happen naturally by default or as you see the need to. But by the same token, even in the comment section, making these videos, people have said, I was very insightful or they like how I put that together. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, when I look at other YouTubers or more formal, I guess, I'm like, man. And of course, you grow when anything new, you grow and evolve and adapt. And I'm attempting to do that. Um, but a lot of times, in my thing, I'm like, I might not necessarily, because I got a different kind of word cadence or lingo to me. So I'm like, man, ain't nobody feeling me or they ain't gonna understand where I'm coming from. And a lot of times with us as being, chosen or called or however that works, you know, you probably go through these seasons, such as myself, of you know, deep isolation, of things not working the way you plan them to. You've probably been betrayed more times than you can remember, which I think actually ends up driving us to a higher power, because don't nothing make no sense, not just in the earth, but our relation to the world. I've been in situations where I'm putting in the work, you know what I mean? I'm going about this in a professional manner, as far as being prepared, doing my due diligence, things of that nature. And, the proverbial Barnabas gets picked over me. I'm like, huh? What? And it can be very discouraging. But with the help of New Breed and other YouTubers, they've helped me to navigate this, understanding from a spiritual lens of what's happening. So now I'm kind of in the season of, I guess, transition or waiting for certain things to take place. But I'm okay with it, because I know it'll happen all in y'all's time. So I'm not out here, ripping and running, trying to force it in or put a square peg in a round hole. Uh, I've been out of work because I chose to leave for principles, uh, purposes, and I've been sustained in it, right? Then in my mind, like, well, if my situation were different, would I still be able to sustain and maintain? But the situation not different. You see what I'm saying? No matter what, he is able to uphold you with the righteousness of his right hand. And I've read that 1,000 times, but it hit different when the word comes alive because you living in it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in this current season of attempting to be led by the Spirit, and I don't really know what that means in application. But then I'm seeing what's happening in reference to the video New Breed reacted to, and just life circumstance that he has helped me navigate when you talk about gang stalking or and I've been gang stalked. I just didn't know it that was the case. Uh, walking more of an isolated path, things of that nature. So it's almost like the Most High is using brothers to help me study, and then I take the test, and then I pass with flying colors. I'm passing things that typically would have tripped me up. I'm doing things and operating in ways that I've never operated in, and doing it like gracefully and fluidly. You know what I mean? I know in the scripture it talk about, well, nah, actually I was homeless at the time, stopped in like one of them thrift stores and found like a little book for like $1, right? And I forgot the title, but it caught my attention. And when I'm reading the book on the park bench, you know what I mean, which was part of my wilderness season, it used the Hebrew like letters, but then it translated into Yah being the master potter, right? And I was like, and I was, where I was at with it. But I just remembered that the other night. Like, even if he had told me who he wanted me to be, or how he wanted me to operate, there's no way I could have put that, other than like reading books or listening to YouTube. But it's actually the journey that he's predestined for you that forms you into who you're meant to be. Because you can't perceive what you may deal with in the future, or what attributes or skill sets you'll need interpersonally on your job in various situations. You see what I'm saying? All this was formed in the journey. That in my mind, and there's another thing he's helped me deal with, which is my will and my plan. Yeah, I can give you this or I can put you in this place, but unless you have the character to hold it, you ain't gonna be there long. And typically, character is forged in hardship. It'd be like asking a duck what it's like to be in the rain or in the water. It's just part of how I get down now. It's not even vexing to me. You see what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And I'm used to it, so I'm able to kind of flow in it. Rather than maybe another animal who's not used to the water. You see what I'm saying? But I'm in the space of getting out my own will in my own way, right? Because I've tried a plethora of things, business-wise, interpersonally, and it hasn't come to fruition as of yet. And I'm like, well, why? And I'm putting in the work, understanding how I wasn't necessarily a good steward of things, how I wasn't consistent, how I wasn't properly prepared for certain stuff. I just think I'm just supposed to get stuff off sheer talent. But it's the hard work, it's the dedication, it's the perseverance that puts you where you need to be and then hold you once you get there. Just like, when I had a breakthrough a few years ago, had I got the breakthrough when I wanted it, the institution that actually had jurisdiction over, I guess, my name at the time, for lack of a better term, would have actually stolen it legally because I was under their care. But when the breakthrough happened, it had happened at an integral point where then I was able to do what I had planned to do. It just came in a vehicle and at a time I didn't understand or perceive. But then because of the journey, when I did get the financial breakthrough, it wasn't like I went out stunting in front and do. Now that I finally got it, now I'm grateful more. Now, because I had to work for it, I had to fight for it. I thought it was over with. And then I'll spin it to this. Okay, and I might have said this in another video. I was actually in a sober living home, and I got a 30-day extension on, having to start paying rent, and felt led to quit my job, and they had just offered me a promotion. But my spirit wasn't in it. Yeah, it sounded good on paper, promotion, you're the assistant shipping manager, but the pay didn't equal up to the title and the responsibility. So I broke off. I said, I'm gone. Now I ain't got no job. So now what I'm going to do? So I had a bunch of utility-related certifications that I got in Baltimore. So I said, let me pick these up. In the process of going to find or look how I can use these skills that I picked up in a previous area, it actually put me on the path to run into the information for the financial breakthrough that I thought the door was closed on. Had I not took that, and I ain't just saying just, quit your job and just be willy-nilly. But had I not done that, I'm not where I'm at now, taking calculated risks. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you're like, did I make the right decision? Was I, whatever. But that's the space I'm in now, being led by the Spirit and getting out of, to a greater degree, getting out of my own will and time periods and living by faith. Because without faith, it's impossible to please God. Without faith, we walk by faith and not by sight. So I don't see how certain stuff gonna happen, even though I've done certain stuff and woo. But I know it'll happen at His time. And when it do happen, I'll be able to step into it and be able to flourish. Just like when I started working in the treatment center. I had no desire to work in treatment based on my personal experience as a client in numerous institutions for numerous years. But based on my experience and the honing of personal characteristics and attributes, they said I was the best employee they ever had. Then I went from the best employee to the worst person because then, I was calling out, various leaders and so on in administration on their lack of ethics and, things of that nature. But that was honed. But that those characteristics were honed in hardship when wasn't nobody around or looking. Now I'm just not going along, get along. Now y'all irking my spirit. Now I refuse to cast off that which has been implanted in me to keep a job or to get a title to make it look good on the outside, but now I'm being chipped away at on the inside. Now my insides is flourishing, even though the outside world is kind of uncertain. And I'm cool with it. Don't make no difference. I've been in way worse situations. He brought me through it. The only thing is when I start getting into what I want, then the frustration come in, then the disappointment. And of course, you'll go through the gambit of human emotion. I think any human, but it don't sit on me long. And then I'll just go try something else. I'll research something else. Like I stay in the fight. What else you gonna do? You know, you either bang or get banged on. And with the help of New Breed and a few other brothers, they've helped me grow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm type brother, if anybody helps me in any kind of way, I'ma always remember that for all the times I needed help and didn't get it. Or I helped people, then went back to them and they act like they ain't know me. Or I seen this little kind of like devilish smirk on their face, like they were happy I was in a whatever situation. But when they came to me in dire straits, I didn't do that. I didn't make them feel less than or whoop whoop whoop. So I totally understand when we talked about when you're just genuine, and you know the things you go through in relation to his situation. I've been in a situation like that where everybody like I came to their defense. I broke bread with them. I showed them genuine love. I never took advantage of them. I encouraged them. And then at some point down the line, they turn on you, group together, and act like you the worst person in the world. And then you be tempted in emotion, yo, I should go get them folk. They playing me like I'm a chump. Ah. And it can't take my kindness for weakness. Because you was in a situation that was, it could have went, to physicality. I pulled up on you when I heard. And we was, you know what I'm saying? Just off love. But what'll happen is these people will perceive who you are, that you don't have ulterior motives and so on and so forth. And they'll end up despising you for it. And I believe that's in the word where the wicked lie in wait for the good, or they seek to, I'm paraphrasing, seek to like expose you to some degree, or you not really who you say you are, even though they know that. They've seen it. They've seen you talk about it. They've seen it, and not even that, they've seen it in your action. But a lot of times, what ends up happening, with these folk, what end up happening is they'll talk a whole bunch of good yin-yang to distract you from the fact you've never actually seen them do none of the stuff they talking about. You've never seen them exhibit any of the traits they say they have. It's just all word salad and talk. Really, in my personal life, I don't even like talking. That's why I'm doing YouTube kind of hard and just looking into a camera talking. That's why I be looking other places, and I'm just thinking, I'm that's not looking, staring right into a camera, just talking or whatever. You know what I mean? But, it's a new season of life, so I'm embracing the newness, the uncomfortability. That's where the growth coming in, and that's where I'm really at with it. Of course, we all like to be situated and comfortable, but there's no growth there. So I'm on this kick of seeking valid and true and applicable information and knowledge, and just growing and just constantly evolving. And like New Breed said in one video, and this really resonated with me, back to the Master Potter point that I made up earlier, he has invested a great deal in the kid. I personally know people who have died for a fraction of the stuff I've been able to survive relatively unscathed. And it wasn't me. It wasn't because I was so tough or so smart or this, that, and the third. It was a grace. And then in response to that, I'm like, then it dawns, I'm like, oh, wow. Oh, I got to do better, yo. Just out of gratitude. So let me figure out, what does God really like? What don't he like? And let me try to live that way. Let me try to be that way. I've used it now. It's almost like, say you're in a relationship, right? And I know this is in the word too, as far as us like committing fornication with other idol gods and all that. So then, you go off with these other things that ain't for you or don't love you the way God do, right? And then of course when that happens, then you gotta, pray to God, right? And then let's say he bring you back into the fold, right? And I'm speaking of myself. I get brought back into the fold, but now I'm insecure because I know I done just went off and fornicate with these other idol gods, right? So now I'm trying to understand, okay, let me show my appreciation by being and doing the things he want me to do, to show appreciation, to show gratitude, right? To make it up to him, right? But it's all new, so you don't know if you're doing it right. You know what I'm saying? because you want to do it, because you not just talk, you want to show this individual how much they mean to you. You want to show this individual how much you truly appreciate what they did for you when they didn't have to do that. That's the epitome of love. So now let me love you back in the way that you require that put a smile on your face. And that's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? And, I know it talks about, when you repent, he'll, cast your, the memory of your sin into the sea and forget it no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I'm at. That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm trying to live by. That's where I'm, taking constructive criticism. You know what I'm saying? I'm not beyond reproach. I actually probably do better with constructive criticism than I do a whole bunch of praise and all that. Because then I'm thinking you trying to line me up. You know what I'm saying? As they say, iron does sharpen iron. And I was able, from, I guess, my articulation from the last video, which I was just coming straight off the freestyle off the dome. It wasn't thought out or anything like that. And actually, here's what be tripping me out. And I call it my spiciness, but I guess it's really the Holy Spirit, right? When I see these, because I was kind of raised outside of, like, society to a degree. Like, I grew up real isolated in an agricultural place. And then, like, my neighbors were related to me, and then there was nobody else around. So I didn't really see a whole lot as far as society go. But one thing I've always had the ability to look objectively at society and make the proper call. Or being able to tell where people's intentions were. Or when they did that, this means they really want to do this. And as far as that whole situation among the chosen online, if you go back to any of my other videos, it's went exactly to form. Even my reactions or my conclusions about New Breed and him being genuine, because when you are genuine and somebody cross you, your first initial thought is, yo, man, who the F you think you is, cuz? Because you hurt. Because you showed genuine love. And I think he said that in the last video. Like, and I'm just like this. Like, I love genuinely. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? But when you turn around crossing, I'm thinking about getting out the rocket launcher. Because now you playing with my little heart. I don't know how much my little heart can take, you know what I'm saying? And you finna do that? And then it's even worse when it's someone you extended love towards or support. And then I'd rather that come from a complete stranger enemy than someone you broke bread with, somebody you had life experience with, someone who you legitimately wanted the best for. It's so crazy now. People can see you want the best for them and hate you for that. You can't tell me Satan ain't done took over this world, yo. And on the flip side of it, if somebody showed me legit, like, they put me in position or they gave me the game on whatever it is I'm endeavoring myself into, man, you got a little brother from here on out. You could be dead wrong. And I know you did. I'm going to tell you that, behind the scenes. But, man, I'm with you, cuz. Man, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? I was locked up in Annapolis one time. And in this particular section of where we was locked up, I used to do pull-ups or whatever. And there was an older guy there. So I ended up seeing the older guy later on at the probation office. And he was waterproofing basements. But I was working on a trash truck, and my hours were super sweet. But then when that trash truck had lost their contract, I still had his car on my wall. So I started calling him, but he didn't remember who I was. So I called him so much out of persistence, he finally gave me some run one day. So I'm like, man, if you see me, like, you'll recognize who I am, right? So I see him, but he was an ex-dope fiend, you know what I'm saying? And a rampant alcoholic. But he taught me a skill that I could sustain. You know what I'm saying? That I could use to make money, sustain, do whatever, woo. So even though he was a dope fiend, and other people talk about him crazy, they couldn't really go but so far with me, because this man done showed me a way to make money. This man done showed me a skill. You know what I'm saying? Even though he got his personal, he ain't never did nothing by me. He's a dope fiend, quote unquote, not to be derogatory, but he done put money in my pocket. You know what I mean? How I'm not going to show love to the people who put me down with gang? Not saying I always got to be, underneath of them or got to, kiss their feet or nothing, but they'll always hold a special place in my heart. Because what would I have done had I not known the man? You see what I'm saying? Yo, there's nothing wrong with paying homage, as they say, or showing gratitude. You'd be surprised how much, just telling somebody you appreciate them, how much that boosts them up. You know what I'm saying? That your efforts aren't in vain. You know what I mean? And on that note, man, I'm going to get to the business right now, man. Holla at y'all, man. And remember, cover your sex. Ooh, ah!